Hello and welcome to the Storm channel. I am Commander Storm, and today we're going to be doing a video or a tutorial on how to do mining in Elite Dangerous. Now, the first thing you want to do is find a ship that is right for mining. There are several different ships out there that you can use. There's things like the Cobra, there's things like the ASP, and there's also the Python is quite useful too. Python's quite big though, so going into smaller asteroid fields probably not the best option, but you can go for that if you want. Currently I'm in an ASP, so what we're going to do is we're going to outfit it for mining. I've basically just got rid of everything. It used to be outfitted for combat. I've got rid of a lot of the spaces just so I can kind of show you what it is that you need to put on. So we're going to go first to internal, and we're first going to equip cargo racks. So if we change this to module type, then we go down and we see that the cargo racks here, I've already selected them, so they're just right here, literally 64 cargo rack. I'm going to go for that. And then also a 32, just so we can maximize space. There we go. Now what we're going to need here is we need a refinery. Now a refinery allows us to basically collect all the materials, and it, as it says, refines them. So it makes basically just purifies all the materials until we've got a ton of it, and then it moves it to the cargo. So what we're going to do is we look into module type. I'm just going to go and skip that. Now you can see that there are a lot of different types of refineries to go for. Now the most expensive one isn't always the best, because if you see here, this one's got 4 refinery bins and this one's got 7. This one's got 6, and this one's actually more than that one. Now this is to do with their classes. So this one's a class 2 and this one's a class 3, but it's cheaper because it's a B class instead of an A class. So we're going to go for, we don't need that many refinery bins, but we don't need to spend that much money. So if we go for a B class 2, that one's got 5. Is it? 5. Yeah, that one's got 5, and that one's got 7. Yeah, so see, that's 400,000 more for 2 more. So there's not really any point, and we're unlikely to use that many. So we'll just have 5. What we also need is a collector limpet. So I've got here this. So if you have a look down in modules, we'll find a collector limpet. Again, you're going to look at the actual information. It says here this collector limpet can last 720 seconds. So maybe it might be best to go for, but this one's only 9,600. Yeah, but it only has a maximum active limpets of 1. So it probably is best to go for this one, because you can have 2 limpets going at any one time, which means you can have 2 limpets basically working to collect the materials. And a limpet is basically just a drone that you can program to do certain tasks, providing that you have the controllers actually available to do it. Then we need a Prospective limpet controller. Now Prospective limpet controllers, literally what they do is they program limpets, and then they shoot them at you can shoot them at an asteroid, and what it'll do is it'll check the asteroid's composition for like what's actually in the asteroid, and then it'll give you the information and tell you how much of that material is left, and you can use that to work out how much longer you've got to mine for. So if we have a look for a Prospective limpet controller, again 7,000. We don't need 2 active limpets really. Find that 1 active limpet is enough, so we're just going to go for that. And it's got a 7,000 meter range, which we don't need because we're not going to be any further than 7,000 meters. Now what I have forgotten to do is equip a shield generator. So if we just swap this down to here, then we've got a spare space which we're going to use to equip a shield generator. Literally just get the best shield generator you can get, and this will literally just kind of prevent damage if an asteroid's moving or anything like that, it'll stop it from occurring. So we're going to go for that. And then I find that it's the best idea if you're going long distance travelling to go for a fuel scoop. Because if you have a fuel scoop and just say you're in a system, you run out of fuel, there's no stations, that happens a lot, you know, then you can refuel, providing the star's actually usable to refuel. Now, last thing we need to equip onto our ASP is mining lasers. Now, you usually find these if you put it in price ascending, I think it is. You usually find these, they're usually like very, very close to the top. I won't find them because they're already here, but yeah, they're usually right at the top if they're in price, because they don't cost that much. So I'm going to equip mining lasers, 2 mining lasers on the small hard points. And you'll notice that the rest of the layout here is actually set up for combat. Sorry about that. So anyway, this layout's set up for combat. So you'll note this is basically just for defending against anybody who tries to kind of like attack you. So they're not very powerful, but it's enough to like kind of like deter them. We've got a shield booster here, which is not taking up too much energy. Chaff launchers just to kind of get our way, and the shield generators kind of like for the same reason, just give us enough time to get away without getting too much damage. So it's saying set fire groups. We're just going to remember to set our fire groups. So we're going to set up the fire groups by going to here. Now I noticed that the beam lasers are set up as first. That's because I had the combat set up. So what we're going to do is we're going to move these. We're going to get rid of them so that we can basically just start again. And we're going to first equip on the first group. We're going to equip these are setting 1. And these are setting 2, or secondaries. And then in this one here, we're going to put the Limpert controllers as 1 and 2 again. And then if we put them in third, and we put this one as the combat, and then we put the shafts as fourth, as kind of like our getaway kind of thing. So we'll just put them last. And that literally just set it up. So that's what it would look like. So you've got in the first one, you've got mining lasers in 1 and 1, prospective Limpert controllers in 2. You've got in the second, you've got your collector Limpert in 1 and your prospective Limpert controller in 2. And you've got your combat as 3, which is your beam lasers as 1, and your multi-cannons as 2. And then in 4, you've got your chaff launchers, which are 1 and 2. I like to have 2. That means you can use them consecutively, so you can use one after another, because they take a while to load. So it's useful to have 2, especially when you're trying to get away. You can just kind of keep shooting them, and they basically get no fire on you, providing they're actually using mounted gimbal. Sorry. Okay, so what we're going to do to get all these equipment is it's best to find a station that is high-tech station. That's the place you're most likely to find any of the best kind of equipment that you need. And the best way to find any kind of specific station or specific system with a station in it is literally to go into the map. It's in view here, so it's literally just that little star. It says view, and you go into map, and then if you go to where it says high tech, just deselect all of them and you go into high tech. It'll highlight in blue all of the systems that are high tech. So you see there's one here. Is that? No, that's just a lot. There's trading rooms. There's one there, and you'll notice I'm also in a high tech trading. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to actually look for extraction zones, and let's just deselect high tech and we select extraction zones. Now what we'll see, I've already checked out this system, and it's quite a good system, but we can check out this one. So you literally just go into system map once you've found one of these highlighted in orange or red, and you can actually check what's in the system. So we can see here this one's rocky, but it's got pristine reserves. Now you're looking for pristine reserves really, because that means that there is a high density of that certain thing that there is. So it's high density rock basically is what it's saying. Now this one's got 2 rings, it's pristine reserves, metal rich and rocky. And this one is pristine reserves again, rocky and icy. So this system I would say is not as good as my other system. Although it's got pristine reserves, it's not as good as one of the other systems because it's metal rich instead of metallic. So what you're really looking for is pristine reserves, metallic. So if you find one of them, that's a good place to mine. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to HIP 12067. Currently I'm in Chuanaboso, I think that's what it was called. Is it? Yeah, Chuanaboso. So we're going to go to HIP 12067. So if we go and click the system map, we're going to have a look once it loads. There we go. So we can see in this system, the first one is rocky with major reserves. The second one is major reserves and it's metal rich. The third one is major reserves and metal rich again. This one is major reserves and metal rich. And this one is major reserves and metallic. This is the inner ring, the outer ring. You'll notice there's 2 rings. It'll say which one ring is, ring A and ring B. Ring B is the outer one, ring A is the inner one, and you'll see that they're different colours. So what we're going to do is we're going to go for this inner one. So we're going to plot a route to this planet, which is HIP 120675, so it's the 5th planet. Now if we go out of this, we'll notice we've got a plotted route. Now we're going to go to return surface, and then we're going to let it go. Oops. Now one thing I nearly forgot to do is you need to go into munitions and you need to equip Limpert controllers. If you don't do this, you can't use most of your systems, like your Prospective and your controller, your collector Limpert controllers, so you can't use them without these. I would advise, if you got use your cargo with a third of the space of it as being Limperts. Now this may take up a lot of your space, but what you'll realise is that as your cargo starts to fill up, your Limpert controller is going to go down because you're using them, so it'll kind of level out. And I find that having a third to half is about right. I never really use more than 30 before I fill up my cargo, so you know, it's always best to have a few left than have none. I'd rather have my cargo full and have a few Limpert controllers left than have my cargo rack empty and have no Limperts. And you'll see there were only 3,030 credits for 30, so it's not much. And now what we're going to do is we're going to launch. There we are. Track landing gear. So you'll see, this is the first video that's been
ship released.
Video or tutorial
Engines engaged.
by me, by the subject. So this won't be yeah, there's going to be quite a few more to come. There'll be tutorials on mini games, some other games as well. There'll be a lot more stuff, a lot more content made.
Landing gear
Still
retracted.
getting kind of ourselves. We're getting used to it. So there's three of us on the channel. There is me, so I'm installed.
Frameshift drive charging.
Is, Relentless, and there is Olympus. Now Relentless mostly does console games, so you'll see him playing a lot of Destiny, COD,
Four,
and there's
three,
games as well.
2, 1, engage.
You'll see him play. Sometimes you probably see me playing them with him as well. You'll notice that there'll be a little kind of like two or one icon in the top left corner that kind of just tells you who's playing it inside the video, so you know who's kind of like in the video or who's like who's contributing to it.
Fuel scooping.
Then
Fuel
there's
scoop
me. I do
disengaged.
mostly kind of PC games, but I do a bit of console as well. So you'll see me playing mostly Elite Dangerous, things like Star Citizen when it gets released. I've got the beta, but I don't know whether or not to do some Star Citizen stuff. It's had up a lot of bad press recently, well, a bit of bad press recently, so I'm just kind of deciding not to use that. I do a little bit of Halo as well on the console, StarCraft 2, Supreme Commander 2, basically just RTSs, Space Sims, FPS. They're kind of what I like to do. And then there's Olympus. He likes to do things like World of Tanks, Space Engineers that I would do as well, Battlefield 4 on the PC as well. There's a few other games that we kind of like all do together and stuff like that. So that's what we're kind of planning to do. We'll do some more voiceovers and stuff like that when we get ready to kind of like organise it all together. So as you see, we've managed to jump to HIP 12067, not tall mouthful. So what you'll notice is because we went into the system map and we actually selected that planet, it's automatically selected the fifth planet for us to go to. So it's about 1,000. It was 1,000. Yeah, about 1,000 light seconds away. And we'll get there pretty quickly. I'm set to 74%. And we'll literally just look for the inner ring. The inner ring looks a different colour to the outer ring, so it's a lot easier to kind of find where you're going. So we're nearly there. There we go. There'll hopefully be a lot more tutorials as well. I'm going to do some like combat tutorials, like the best layout, kind of combat layouts, and some trading as well. We'll do some trading. The best way I found to make money in this game was trading. I haven't done trading for a while though, so I know it's one of my trading routes. There was this game was trading. I haven't done trading for a while though, so I know it's one of my trading routes. There was a system called DSO, and there was a rare commodity there called Deso Macorn, and that was a good thing to kind of purchase there. It made a lot of money actually. It made about $1 million if you filled up your cargo racks. But I haven't done that for a while, so I have a feeling because that went down. But we'll do some more probably at some point. Now what we're going to do is I've slowed down because I've gone too close to the planet, so we're going to go further away, and we're looking for the first inner ring, which you'll notice is a different colour. It's white into the brown. So if we have a look, we just literally got to keep going around. This is a high intensity, but it's whether or not it's on the outer ring or the inner ring. I think it's on the outer ring, so I think this is the one we're looking for. So we're literally just going to go for it, and it's taking us down quite dramatically, so we're going to go away from the planet. It's going to take us up. Heading for that one. extraction site. So we're currently at a low intensity resource extraction site, which means that it is it's the waypoint with basically the best materials, and it's highly used. So I'm gonna go and look for some asteroids to mine. You see, we can see some. So if I just see one, you can see that this is where we are. So if I kind of go like this, we're heading straight down. Straight for the asteroid field. Just give me a bit of a warning as to head for an asteroid. There we are. Okay, so we're going for this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to deploy our weapons. Turning off this asteroid if we can. Right, so it's turning pretty rapidly. Yeah. So the best thing we can do is just kind of like go to the side of where it's turning. I know it's just kind of like makes it kind of turn or rotate less. So, it's a bit better. So what we're going to do is going to release a Prospective Limpert, literally by
programming Limpert drone.
Assigned keys, and then we're going to lock onto it.
Prospective Limpert engaged.
Telling us that we've got Bertrandite of 38%. So we're literally just going to
Scan
use
detected.
power to weapons, and then we are going to open our collect Limperts.
Programming Limpert drone. Programming Limpert drone.
And we're going to lower our
Cargo scoop deployed.
Go back to the first weapons group, and literally just fire at the asteroid. Best to try and kind of like focus in the same area.
Scan detected.
Because it means that the materials is going to kind of like be released kind of in the same kind of place. It's going down the same route. You notice that what's happening now is the collector Limperts are actually going for the materials, and they're collecting them for me. This is one of the reasons why I wear a shield or have a shield generator equipped on the ship, is just in case because these asteroids don't stay stationary when they rotate, they actually move. So you have a shield generator just in case like you get hit, and you'll be fine. Otherwise it can sometimes take quite a lot of out of your armour. So better. The minerals remaining now at 58%. We're just going to keep firing until we get to 0. And you'll notice that when it gets to 0, it'll start to say that the minerals now are also depleted. And and that's when you just literally go to a different system. Just kind of leave it and wait for the collection numbers to pick up all the materials. Shouldn't take them too long. Just check. Yeah. Use this to check kind of whether or not the collection numbers are still both active, and if they're not, there'll be a space left for them. You just literally just fire another one off. So this is how the refinery works. Literally what it does is it collects the Limperts. The Limperts collect the materials and basically just deposit it into the refinery. The refinery's hopper is basically just temporary storage before it's sorted into the bins. Notice how we're only using one. As it's collected, the percentage goes up. And then when it gets to 100%, that means it's got a ton, and then it just literally moves that 1 ton of whatever the material is straight into the cargo, and then you can sell it. Anything that's in the cargo bins, in the bins, you can't actually sell because you don't have enough of it. So it's kind of a shame, really. But collect some more. And let's go straight all the way down. Put this to 0%. Then when this gets to 0%, we're going to go straight back to the station. And we'll go quick filling in Chanaboso, and then we're going to literally sell all of the cargo that we've collected.
Asteroid depleted.
There we go, the asteroid's depleted. We just literally wait for the asteroid to the collectors to collect all of the materials, and then we head off. Now unfortunately the Limperts do actually get destroyed, but they're fairly cheap, so it doesn't make that much of a difference. So you notice we've used 3 Limperts so far, and we're only at 21, so we've got 50, or about 50 used up, 50 tons used up. 48, we've got 96, so we've got enough space, and as the cargo goes up, the Limperts will go down, so it kind of balances out. But that's all of it collected, so we're literally just going to now go away from the asteroid field, and as I'm zoomed out I can see the shape of the asteroid belt, which means that we can literally just
Scan detected.
know exactly where it is that we're going. I'm going to raise the cargo scoop.
Cargo scoop retracted.
Weapons. So I need to get out of here as soon as possible. It's just telling us our Prospective's failed, and that's literally just because we've got too far away. But we're done. Right, we're far enough away, we can just
Frameshift drive charging.
Get out of the way of that mad person.
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
Right, just going to lock back onto the closest high-tech station, which is Chanaboso. and with more video editing wizardry, I'm going to magically appear at the station. Okay, so here we are currently now magically at the front of the station Quick Vision in Chiranabosa. So we're literally just going to fly straight in here and sell what we've collected. Request docking.
Docking request granted.
So, got my lights on. I like to have my lights on so I know exactly where it is that I'm going, so I can see the railings on the outside. Sometimes you misjudge where you are and you end up
Landing gear deployed.
Okay, I'm gonna go slowly down.
Docking successful. Engines disengaged.
Right, go to Starboard Services, and then we are going to go to. I was going to refuel first. We're going to go to the Commodities Market. If you see here, this column is cargo. If we just look for anything, we've got cargo. Now you'll have a lot more by the time you've finished, but what you can do is you can sell it. Now we have made around about 23,000 just from that itself. We've also got merchandise, so if we sell that, we made 2,500. So you do make quite a lot of money, and that wasn't very long out there, really, was it? But we made, we made quite a lot of money from that. So there you go. That is how you do mining in Elite Dangerous. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more videos, and we'll see you again soon.